So if your house has a typical wired alarm system, you probably have a keypad like this one on the wall near your entry doors. In this case, it's by the entrance to my garage. You might also find it by your front door or in the master bedroom suite. This is the original keypad that came with my house, and I'm holding it on the wall here because I've already removed the screws to the mounting bracket so I can show you what's inside. And what we're going to do is take this off the wall, look at the wiring behind there, and then reuse those wires to run power to a power converter that's going to keep a tablet that's fully charged on the wall so that you can replace this with an old iPad or an Amazon Fire tablet or any tablet that you have laying around the house to make a really cool and inexpensive smart home dashboard for your smart home alarm system. Now, these are pretty simple. Taking them off the wall, you'll see I've really basically just got a hole in the wall with one 4-core wire coming out, and this is connected to four cores of the wire that are running back to the alarm panel in the closet where all the wiring for my sensors are. You'll see there's a red, green, black, and yellow wire, and you'll typically have those 4 colors, or sometimes there's a blue and a white, but it's pretty easy to identify which is which. Let me zoom in here so we can see what's going on. So a typical alarm system keypad has 4 wires connected to it. The red and the black are for 12 volts power, and then in my case, green and yellow are data connection to the traditional alarm system, which is in the closet where all of my alarm system wires are. If we're replacing this with a touchscreen tablet, all we really need to care about is power. So the red and the black are carrying 12 volts from the alarm system, and most of our touchscreen tablets are charged with USB, which is 5 volts. So we need to convert that 12 volt power into 5 volt power, and then to keep the tablet plugged in and charged all the time. And then we're not going to worry about those other 2 wires, the green and the yellow. It might be different colors in your case, because those are a data connection, which isn't really important here, because if you're using a tablet, it's going to connect to Wi-Fi and then over the network connect to your smart home platform, either on your local LAN or through the cloud. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to use this older Amazon Fire tablet. I think this is an 8-inch Amazon Fire tablet, and replace it and stick that on the wall in place of this guy. And we're going to use these 12 volt to 5 volt USB converters that we sell on Konnected.io for about $12 or $13. And what this does is it has inputs for a red and black for your 12 volt supply, and then that outputs to a USB connector. In this case, it's the micro USB because this is an older Fire tablet. The newer devices have USB Type-C, which we have a device for that also. So make sure you get the right tip for the tablet that you're using. And then this will tuck nicely into the wall and then provide the USB power to keep the tablet plugged in and fully charged all the time. So it's pretty simple. All we need to do is remove the wires from here. I would unplug the power from the alarm system cabinet before you do this, so you're not touching live wires, and then connect the red and the black to the USB charger and then mount it all up. Let's get started. Okay, first step is just to disconnect the wires from the old keypad. So I'll just loosen those screw terminals. And these wires come right out. Now, like I already mentioned, red is the 12 volt positive, black is the 12 volt negative, and the other 2 colors, in this case green and yellow, are my data connection from the old alarm system to this keypad. Now we're only going to use the red and the black, the 12 volt, and so we can ignore these other 2 and disconnect them from the alarm system cabinet. So we only need the red and the black in this case to give power to the tablet. Now, since I have 4 cores, and a tablet's going to use a little bit more current than a traditional keypad because it is a touchscreen device, so it does use a decent amount of power. You might want to consider doubling these up since we don't need to use that other pair. I'll twist the black and the green together, and then the red and the yellow together to just kind of make a double wire so that there's a little bit more surface area on the wire to send 12 volts power down to this device. Now you'll have to do the same thing on the other end and twist together the red and the black. Twist together the red and the yellow and the black and the green. As long as you keep it consistent, it doesn't really matter which color is which. And all we're doing there is just creating a little bit more surface area for the current to pass through this 4-core wire, basically making those 4 cores into 2 cores. So doing that. All right, I found my pliers and I'm going to use these to just, nicely twist together those pairs, black to green and red to yellow, to make a doubled up 12 volt supply, which I'm then going to put onto the end of our 12 to 5 volt converter, USB converter. All right, cool. We'll have to do this on the other end also to make sure we got 12 volts securely going through these wires, through the wall. All right, that's our red, that's our black, positive, negative. And now we're going to connect those wires corresponding to here. So red to this one, black to this one. It looks like I need to strip the ends of these a little bit, give me some more space on that wire. And that's easy. I can use a razor blade. If you don't have a wire stripper, this is a cheap way to do it. Just use a box cutter, a razor blade to make a little scoring in that wire jacket. Then you can usually pretty easily peel it with your fingernail. Okay, I've scored it with the razor. And the intent there is to cut through the wire jacket, but not the underlying wire. And then peel it with your fingernail. There we go. It gives me a little bit more wire to work with. Okay, twist it up so it's nice and tight. Okay, I've got these little, these are called B connectors or beanies. They just are a little crimp connector and makes a secure, kind of crimp on these wires. So what we'll do is put the red to the red like this. Use my pliers to give it a little twist to make good contact on that metal lead of the wire. Now slip them in to one of these beanies, push it all the way in there as far as we can get it, and then crimp it down. And what's supposed to happen is there are little teeth in there that grab onto this wire and make sure that it's making contact. And then we'll do the same thing for the black. Push it into the beanie. Crimp it down. Cool. So now we have our 12 volt to 5 volt converter connected to the 12 volt supply. And we're going to go upstairs where these wires originate from the alarm system cabinet and hook them up to the 12 volt supply. Again, twisting together the black and the green and the red and the yellow. And then make sure that this works to charge my tablet. A power supply like this one is going to work great just for up 1 to up to 3, maybe 4 tablets, depending on the current draw of them. So to make this easy, those power supplies have a barrel jack connector like this one, and I'm using a barrel jack to screw terminal adapter to make the wiring easy, where I can just plug that into the end here. And we're just going to connect our black and red wires to the ends of the screw terminal adapter. The red pair goes to the plus, the black pair goes to the minus. All right, I've reconnected the 12-volt supply. So we have, this is energized with 12 volts coming from the alarm panel location upstairs. This converts it into 5 volts and then provides the USB connection for this Amazon Fire tablet. And when I plug that in, whoop, I got the charging indicator, so I know that it works. Now all we have to do is mount this on the wall. Just gonna tuck all this stuff into the gap here, and being careful not to obviously cut the wires. Now, of course, this looks a little unsightly with this power plug on the outside. So what we can do is use one of these 3D printed frames that our friend Jason Thomas sells, and he sells them. We sell them on our website at Konnected.io, and that can hide the wire and also make a nice little mounting bracket for your tablet. Let me show you how that works. These little frames are 3D printed by our friend Jason, and you know, they do a good job to create a little bezel and hide the wire and make a nice little frame for your tablet on the wall. They come in a couple of colors, pretty simple. And of course, there are a bunch of options. There are some commercial options that you can find online. There are also some tablets that you may be able to find that have the wiring in the back to hide this wire, or different mounting options as well. So plenty of DIY solutions. I'm going to show you one. And the way that we do this pretty easily is just tuck all these wires into the wall, and then the charging cable can hide inside that bezel there. Then we just slip the tablet into the frame and plug it in. There we go. It nicely hides the wire inside this bezel. And then, of course, you can get this flush to the wall and mount it here, and it's going to look really nice for everybody who can see it. Okay, so now depending on what smart home platform you're using, you can use a web view to your smart home dashboard. For example, Home Assistant has a local web page. SmartThings has my.smartthings.com, or Habitat has its web-based dashboard. And of course, you can, depending on your preference, mount your tablet vertically or horizontally. Obviously, I haven't mounted this in yet. And then I use an app called Fully Kiosk Browser, which lets you configure a landing page or a dashboard page for your tablet that's always going to be on, and that makes like a nice, you know, Chrome-less, always on dashboard for your wall. Okay.